This is back again in equation of circle. How you gonna transform an equation of circle from general form to standard form in order to identify the center and the radius of the circle. In order to do that, you will have to go back, retrieve from your prior knowledge, completing the square method. And remember, in order to use completing the square method, your leading coefficient must be 1. If it's not 1, you have to use factor. So that's what we're going to do. So in this case, we have this equation of a circle, which is in standard form. Our goal is to put it in its general form. Our goal is to translate it in standard form. Remember, this is your AC squared plus CY squared minus, that will be your EX, EY, plus F is equal to 0. Your goal is to isolate the F, subtract 51 from each side, and that's what we are going to do. Then after that, we do family grouping. In your family grouping, you will have 4x squared minus 16x plus 4y squared minus 24y, and this will be equal to negative 51. So the second step, we do family grouping. Now in this case, your leading coefficient is not 1. You will have to factor the 4 out. That will be 4. That will be x squared. That will be minus 4x. Then you're going to factor the 4 out. That will be 4 y squared minus 6y is equal to negative 51. So we do our family grouping, and we do our factors. Now we are ready to do complete the square method. In order to do complete the square, you're going to take this term, which is usually called b. You're going to divide by 2. In this case, that will be negative 4. You take negative 4, you divide by 2, then you square the outcome. Whatever the outcome is, you square. That will give you negative 2. Then when you square negative 2, that will give you positive 4. That's what you add here. You add 4. Now this term becomes a perfect square triangle. That's your objective, to create that into a perfect square triangle mode. It's simply that you add 4. In reality, you do not add 4. You add 4 times 4, which is 16. That's what you will have to add on the other side. 4 times 4 is 16. Then we're done with that first term. The xm, we have completing the square to that. And we're going to, here again, we're going to take the other b, which is negative 6. You divide by 2. Always divide by 2. Or you take half, then you square it. That will give you negative 3. Then when you take the negative 3, you square it, that will give you 9. You add 9. This term now becoming perfect square trinomial. Remember those. You need to remember that as your reference. Right? In this case, it's simply that you add 9. In reality, you do not add 9. You add 4 times 9, which is 36. That's what you add on that side. So we have do your complete the square, then you rewrite that. Then that will be as a perfect trinomial, your x term. And whatever number you get here when you divide by 2, that was negative 2. Then this square goes outside. Right? You do the same thing. That your term is y. That will be y. That when you take b divided by 2, that was negative 3. That's what you're going to put here. Then you square it. Then you will have to simplify this out. Alright? Then we don't need that anymore. We're almost done. So in this case, that will give you 52. That will minus 51 plus 52. That will give you positive 1. Now this is our objective. Then the only thing that we have to do, this we will have to divide each side by 4. Divide this by 4. Then you will end up with 4 cancel. Those 4 cancel each other out. Then you simplify that as x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equal to 1/4. Now your equation is in standard form. This is your, that was your main goal, to write it in standard form. And the standard form of equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. Since this is that form, then your equation is in standard form. Now we have to identify this is your h, this is your k, and this is your r squared. So we'll have to identify your hk, which is the center of the circle. In this case, whatever you see inside the parentheses, you have to take the opposite of it. In this case, the h will be 2. And you will take the opposite of negative 2, that will be 3. So the center of the circle will be 2, 3. That's the center. And your radius is r squared is equal to 1/4. Then you take the square root of that. Then r, which is the center, will be 1/2. Then you have identified what you were looking for. So this is our goal in this lesson. So to get an equation from general form, to translate it, to transform it to standard form, to identify the center and the radius. Then in the next lesson, once you know the center, you're going to plot the center in the coordinate grid. And in this case, the radius is 1/2. You're going to use 1/2 unit. And from the center to the radius, use the compass, then you get your perfect circle. So if you don't have a compass, you can go, you print 2, 3, which is in the first quadrant, you move 1/2. From one, you do go down 1/2, you go to the right 1/2, you go to the fourth, to the left one. Then you connect those 4 points. That will give you your perfect circle if you don't have the proper tools. So in this case, that's your objective in this lesson, to translate your equation from general form to standard form. Lesson continue. So we're still translating our equation of circle from general form to standard form. Remember, one of the first step is to isolate f. In this case, f is 12, so we're going to add 12 to each side. We need to get rid of the constant. We add 12 on each side. Then this will be equal to 12. Then we're going to do family grouping. That will become x squared minus 6x. You group the family with the same term. Then that will be y squared plus 4y. Then we can start completing the square process. Alright? In this case, this term is negative 6. We're going to take negative 6. This is the term we're going to complete the square. We want that to become a perfect square trinomial. Because that's going to become a negative 3. And we're going to need that negative, we call it, that's a reference number. When you square that, will give you 9. Then you add 9 to this. So this can become a perfect square trinomial. Since you add 9 on that side, you must add 9 on that side. So this become, the x term has become a perfect square trinomial. We're done with that. Then we move to the y term. So we take the 4, we divide by 2, then you square it. That will give you 2. Then when you square 2, that will give you 4, and we're going to need that to as your reference. Since you add 4 on that side, then you need to add 4 on that side. Then we're going to simplify that. We have 9, you have 12 plus 9 is 21, 21 plus 4 is 25. This will become your r squared. Then on the other side, then you will have your first parentheses. You square them. Then we will decide what goes inside the parentheses. Your term is x, that will be x. Remember, we said we need that number as a reference number. That's what's going to go inside of the parentheses, including this side. If you take negative 6 to divide by 2, that's negative 3. That's what goes in the first term, then you square it. Alright, you go here. This is your y term. Then whatever 4 divided by 2 was. When you divide 4 by 2, that was 2, that's a reference. That's with positive 2, that's what goes there. Then your equation then is in standard form. Then we need to identify the center and the radius of the circle. That's what we are about to do. And remember that the standard form of the equation of a circle is x, your leading coefficient, minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So that's what we have here. So remember, this is your h, this is your k. The only thing you have to do, you have to take the opposite of what inside the parentheses. So this is negative 3, that's becoming positive 3. This is the positive 2, that's becoming negative 2. And this is the center of this circle. Now we need to find the radius. This is the radius r squared. R squared is equal to 25. So we'll have to take the square root of this side so we can find r. In this case, r is equal to 5. This is what we were looking for, the center and the radius. If you plot that in the coordinate grid, that will be in quadrant 4. You plot 3 and negative 2. Then you move 5 units from the center, that will give you your radius. Or you can go 5 units on the other side, that will give you the diameter, which is 10. In this case, you connect it, or you can go 5 units to the right, 5 units to the left, that you know the diameter, and you connect those 4 points, and that will give you the graph of the equation of the circle. So we're going to do that in another lesson, where you will concentrate only on graphing. So let's try to do another problem, then we call it a quick. So remember, we already have lesson on that. So I'm giving you new version, new terms, new problems. The only thing that changed is the variables and the numbers. The concept remain the same. So we have x squared plus y squared minus 10x minus 12y plus 45 is equal to 0. Remember, the first goal is to isolate f10. So we subtract 45 from inside, and that's what we're going to do. This side going to become negative 45. Then we do family grouping. That will be x squared minus 10x plus y squared minus 12y. Then after that, we have to do the main 10, which is completing the square process. So we're going to take the 10, negative 10, including inside. You divide by 2, then you square it. That will give you negative 5. And you square that is 25, then that's what you add there. This becomes your perfect square triangle. Remember, we're going to need the negative 5 as a reference. Then we're done with the xn, then we move to the y term. We take negative 12, you divide by 2, then you square, that will give you negative 6. When you square negative 6, that gives you 36, and that's what you add there, 36. Oh look, we've been adding on one side, and we have that nothing on the other side. So let's balance our equation. Since we add 25 on that side, we have to add 25 on the other side. And we also add 36 on that side, we have to add 36 on that side. Then your equation is balanced. So that's going to be something squared that goes here, something squared that goes here, then you simplify that. So the first term is x, you put x, and that was negative 5 as a reference, that goes here. And the next term is y, that minus 6. Then this part is standard form, we need to simplify the y side. So let's simplify the y side. So you have 45, that is what, 61, 61 minus 45 from 11, that's 6, that will give you 16. Then the equation is in standard form. So this is your r squared, this is your h, this is your k. We only need to take the opposite of what inside the parentheses. That will be 5, that will be 6, that is center, and r squared is equal to 16, and we have to take the square root of each one. Therefore r is 4. This is what you are looking for. Then you're done. The radius is the center is 5, 6 in first quadrant, and r is 4. Then you plug that 5, 6, then you go 4 unit right from the center, and from your center you go 4 unit down from the center. You can go 4 unit to the right from the center, 4 unit to the left from the center. Then you have 4 difference. That's on the circle. Then you do your little curve that become your circle. So that was Mr. This is in equation of circle, how you transfer an equation from general form to standard form. Goes to some practice, then you will become better. I was here and I'm out. Later.